There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone. Hello everyone and welcome to SyFy Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the SyFy channel. I'm Sean, Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 9 of season 3 of Wynonna Earp.
It's almost over, Steve.
I know.
I'm depressed.
And what a horrible Groundhog Day.
Oh my gosh. That's like a whole thing. All right. Well, before we jump into that and deal with the tears and stress, let's talk about ratings.
All right. Episode 9 brought in a 0.13 in adults 18 to 49, which was up with 0.490 million viewers, making it the 99th overall cable show.
These numbers are too confusing.
Yes. Now, we did get some live plus 7. For episode 7, it tied for first in adults 18 to 49 percentage gain, going from a 0.1 to a 0.3 for an increase of 200%. And it was 25th in viewers percentage gain, going from 0.502 to 0.894 million viewers for an increase of 78%.
One day I'll learn these numbers.
So we almost got to 900,000 viewers in the live plus 7. So that makes me very happy.
These episodes have been crazy. And it just seems like, there's a whole con that popped up from Wynonna Earp. You think these numbers would be way higher.
Right.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Let's jump into episode 9, shall we?
All right.
Episode 9, Undo It. History keeps repeating itself when Wynonna has to make an impossible choice. Waverly and Nicole visit a jeweler and a familiar face returns to purgatory. We can say that.
Yeah. And it was not one that I was expecting.
No. It was kind of like, what? All right. So let's start with the beginning. And I'm going to jump for a second. Just the opening scene. We had, for multiple people, what seemed like some crazy adult time happening.
Yeah.
And then when we pull back both scenes, we find out we were way wrong.
Yeah.
So one of those scenes, it turns out it was Waverly and Nicole trying to get Bullshar's ring off her finger. I was like, holy crap. When you hear, do you need more lube? It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
what are we starting with? Okay.
Exactly.
Jeez, talk about like no foreplay, but just jumping in. And it turns out the ring is not going anywhere.
No.
It's weird. And of course, we get either the ring shrank or your finger chubbed up. And Waverly looked like she was about to kill Nicole with that look.
Yeah.
Like, it's the ring. It was the ring. So, of course, Waverly is like, listen, go into the barn and into Wynonna's B&E case. I wasn't supposed to tell you that.
Right.
Well, there's bolt cutters. Just go find them. So I'm thinking, all right, big bolt cutters on a ring.
Yeah.
It's going to be really dangerous because your finger.
Yeah.
So at least when there was some weird stuff happening in the barn, Nicole did not go in there, thankfully.
Yeah.
She decides to take Waverly to a jeweler to get the ring removed, or bring a jeweler to her, however that worked out.
Right.
It's very interesting how they do that, because actually my mother-in-law had to have her ring cut off, and it wasn't that intense. Obviously, this was crazy intense, because like she said, it looked almost like a little can opener where they squeezed it under and then cut, and she had to have it resized. But this was like a little saw blade going, and I was waiting for it to nick her hand and her just to like yelp, but it wasn't happening. And was that jeweler just a little creepy?
Oh, absolutely, he was creepy.
Yeah, I already have a
all right,
buyer.
Nicole, where did you come up with this guy?
Yeah, he was like really into the ring, and he's like, I have a buyer already. It's like, how do you have a buyer? You didn't even know what was happening.
Right.
I'm creeped out. You need to go somewhere. I don't know. He was just giving off that vibe. And later we find out why.
Yeah.
Well, they're not able to get the ring off. So what are they going to do? I guess they're just going to keep, I don't know, trying?
Yeah.
It just sounds weird. It's like, I don't know. She's giving up if she's going to hold on to it. Because when they end up at Mercedes' place, where we're thinking Big Nose Kate is.
Right.
I still can't Big Nose Kate. Just seems weird calling her that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we find out that Kate's not there, but Mercedes is actually there. Whoa, this is a surprise.
Yeah, big surprise.
Last we seen her, she was in the hospital with bandages.
Yeah, and no face.
Right. And now she's got a face. It's a little scarred up, got some stitches, and some really bad bandages holding it on.
Right.
It reminded me of like those old cartoons when somebody had a bad tooth and they put a bandage on her face, like tied it around. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Like, what is with that? And she's, of course, explaining that she has tried everything and been all around the world and trying some underground stuff, too.
Right.
But she needs to get into the safe that her brother had decided to change the combination to. It's not even a safe. It was like a lockbox.
Right.
Really, she needed bolt cutters and she'd have been fine.
Right. Yeah, that was something you could use Wynonna's bolt cutters for.
Right. But Nicole ends up shooting it open after making every promise that they never tell that she wasted a bullet on this.
Right.
And there's wads of cash, which just make me think, what the hell are you really up to? Like, I thought you guys were set, and this is weird. This is very, like, underhanded stuff if you just have wads of cash.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, wasn't her family pretty much loaded?
Yeah.
So what did she do? I mean, I didn't think her brother ran through all the money when they were unavailable.
He was trying to, but apparently she did think about trying to stash some. But of course, her brother must have stashed it because he changed the combination on the lock.
Yeah. I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah.
It just had a weird feel because it didn't make sense to me. But I don't know. I guess people know weird shit's happening. It's like, all right, let's do stuff out of the ordinary because maybe the banks won't be available.
Yeah.
Well, as they sit down and talk about the wads of cash for about 2 seconds, yeah. Waverly does happen to say to Mercedes, "Oh, you're always beautiful," and touched her face. But what happens? We don't know because it's like the next scene we have Waverly ending up touching the face of the crazy demon that comes in, who happened to be the jeweler.
Right, who ended up being a revenant.
Screaming how he needs to pay fealty to Bullshar and he needs the ring and he's going to cut off her finger. It's like, guys, this is bad, okay?
Yeah.
Because we've seen the finger can get cut off, but no, Waverly's alive. What if the ring wouldn't even let you cut off her finger?
That's very possible. We don't know anything about this ring.
Oh, except that, like I said, Waverly ended up using it unassumingly. Well, she doesn't know how to do it. I guess not unassumingly.
No.
She just happened to use it because she screamed and touched the Revenant's face and he burnt to a crisp. And I loved it because everyone's like, what now? Don't touch anybody with that ring.
Yeah.
Mercedes hands her an oven mitt. Hey, you know what? It worked out.
Yeah.
It was weird, but yeah, you don't want to touch anybody by accident. What if she did that to Nicole? Oh my God, she would be devastated.
Yep.
Well, hey, whatever keeps the ring on her finger, I guess, for now, and her finger attached to her hand is what we need to happen.
Right.
But if we skip to the end, we see, well, not the end, endish. Mercedes takes off the bandages and her face is completely healed.
Right.
It's like, hold on a second. And she instantly knows that it's because of Waverly. How is that possible? How does she know this when nobody else knows what the heck is happening?
Well, she was possessed by one of Bulshar's wives, so I kind of think that's probably why she knows so much.
Well, she wasn't possessed. They just took her face.
Well, that's true, but
somehow, like, she knew what was happening, though?
That's the only thing I can come up with.
That was weird.
Yeah, it really was.
Oh, let's jump to the forest, shall we? Because that's all sorts of creepy.
Yeah.
Well, we have Jeremy, who ends up calling Waverly, who was not dealing with a really good time. But he had an emergency. So, of course, Waverly and Nicole are going to go show up. And we start seeing these weird overgrown mounds of tree root. And how are we figuring out that they're communicating? Somehow, it's like they all get pieced together because of Robin. And it's like they're going back and forth that the trees are telling Bolshar what's going on.
Right.
And when we see somebody trapped inside, because you see a hand, it's like all because of something Robin said, they are piecing everything together.
Right.
Slowly. And it turns out we have Bobo in one of these weird mounds. So what's happening? Because his eyes are all like glazed over. They end up pulling Bobo out and he's talking to them, although very crazily.
Yes.
And we find out that Bolshar has Wynonna and Doc. And Bolshar is going to trap everybody. So we know Bolshar wants to get into the garden.
Right.
Does that mean he wants to put everybody into these weird tree root, like memory things or what? Like,
why not? Good way to punish people. Put them in a living hell.
Oh. See, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, because they would have to relive things over and over. Because we have no idea how long he's had Bobo.
No. I mean,
and he
all
does
we know
kind
is
of say,
Mama let Bobo out, and the next time we see him, he's in one of these.
Yeah, he could have got him right away.
Yeah.
And he does say he's been in there forever and he lost hope.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. So where are the rest of them? And can you actually help? Are you sane? Because Waverly ended up, like, she kept the oven mitt on most of the episode.
Right.
But every so often, suddenly the mitt wasn't on. It's like, oh my God, she almost touches Bobo. Is she going to touch him and wake him up? Is she going to fry him? What's it going to do? But they do end up leaving Bobo, which I feel like is a bad idea.
Yeah. But he does notice the ring.
Oh, right. Because he says it's her father's ring.
Yes. And you go, oh, that makes a little more sense now.
See, at first, when he says that, I'm like, whoa, wait, that means Bolshar's her father? Hold on. Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh my God, he totally tricked Mama Earp and everything. And like, nothing is exactly falling into place. I'm, of course, thinking something horrible. Because at this point, you guys probably know I am not the most optimistic person.
Right.
And so, I mean, immediately, if Bolshar had the ring, and it's her father's ring, that's where I went. Now you're thinking something completely different.
Right. I'm thinking that was Julian's ring at one time. And that's probably why the Garden of Eden is there being hidden, is because of the ring. And yeah, whoever owns the ring has got the power.
Oh.
Now somehow Bolshar got it from whoever had it before Julian, probably, but we'll see. I think that this is going to be a weapon for good instead of evil.
Okay.
When Bolshar had it, he was using it for evil, but its true power is for good if it's worn by the right person.
Oh, okay. I can see.
This may be the way that our gang stops Bolshar for getting into the garden, even though he's got Peacemaker, as this ring may be able to stop him.
I have another theory, but
okay.
Not about the ring. I'm wondering how we're going to flesh it all out. So I'm going to wait to see what the next episode and decide if I'm even kind of close. All right. So let's go to the worst ever Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
So we have the scene, like I talked about at the beginning, where it seemed like Wynonna and Doc made up. They made up very well.
Yeah.
But turns out that wasn't the case, because remember that white dust last episode?
Yeah.
Apparently it put them into some kind of, I don't know, trance where they're thinking that they're together and doing adult time. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
And the next thing we know, we see them walking, and Doc has got a coffee mug. I'm like, what are you doing? You're walking in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. What is happening? Right. And thankfully, Peacemaker did what it did when, the the guy who screwed with time. I forgot the bad guy's name.
Yeah.
When he like messed with them and kind of shocked Wynonna, and it ends up waking her up.
Yes.
And she turns around and she sees all the weird beekeeper guys and Bullshard. He's like, oh, this would have been so much easier. And then he takes a bigger group of that dust, and blows it at her. And okay, I guess they're back to being weird. So I don't know if he was trying to keep her in like a happy memory or moment. And then instead of what we got, like if she'd have stayed in that happy time with Doc, if it would have been some kind of like weird coercion to get Peacemaker.
Right.
Instead of this torture repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like, do you think if she never woke up, he would have kept them like in the happy moments?
Oh, no. There's no way they'd been reliving adult time over and over and over again. No, he don't work that way. Though, of course, he might have thought that, yeah, maybe that might have been one way to try to coerce her into giving up Peacemaker is by being happy. But because Peacemaker said, no, Wynonna, you don't get this, and shocks her, then, yeah, I guess he figures, well, I got to try the other way. Let's make her miserable as hell.
Oh, this is going to be sad because this was rough.
Yeah.
Because Wynonna wakes up in Shorty's basement and she goes, and this is what was weird, because she goes up the stairs to open the door and ends up coming downstairs from the upstairs of Shorty's bar.
Right.
And I'm like, hold on a second. Right there, she should have been like, hold on, this doesn't make sense.
This doesn't make any sense at all.
And then next thing you know, arrow in the chest. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And she wakes up again. And so we're like, okay, right there, we all know this is Bullshard messing with her.
Yes.
But then we see a projection of Doc. It only like his eyes.
Right.
He's like, well, was it on a crate the first time, I think.
Yes.
And he's talking to her and he's like, I'm trapped. I can't move. And so she's trying to look for him. And this keeps happening. Like she goes up the stairs and comes down the stairs and something happens. And every time she comes back now, Doc seems to be in a different place, projected downstairs. And she's like, this doesn't make sense. What is happening? And finally she goes, oh, it's like a video game. It's like Donkey Kong.
Right.
I got this. I can level up. And he's like, be careful what you do. Don't be rash. And there was, oh my gosh, what was it? An arrow, poison, acid. The floor was lava, basically.
Right.
I'm like trying to remember everything that happened. And it just, all this weird stuff kept happening. So I was like, Wynonna, how many times have you done that? And she starts writing in chalk.
Right.
And I'm like, this is not going to be good. Do not show me like hundreds of these marks.
Right. Yeah. Waiting to see the Doctor Who.
Oh my gosh.
We've done this 200,000 times. Oh my God.
Right. But finally, when she does run, when she figured out it's like a game, when she opens the door, next thing you know, she's in the house at the homestead. It's like, hold on, this is really weird. And maybe I have leveled up.
Right.
But has she? Or has he just moved the playing field?
Yeah, he just moved the playing field a little bit.
Ah, yes, because we do see Bullshard staring at her and at Doc, who are both in mounds of like tree roots.
Right.
How he's like, oh, you're going to watch as I enter the garden and the world burns.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's just so freaking hilarious.
Yeah. He does not think he can be defeated at this point. So
right.
I think that may be something that we can use to our advantage.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
But really, I'm thinking, okay, you got them trapped in this weird hell, basically. How are they watching anything?
Right.
They're not going to watch you. They're not going to see anything because they're in the weird trance unless you're going to wake them up. And then if you wake them up, they're going to find a way to stop you.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to work, dude. But let's go back. We find Wynonna trying to figure out where she is. She's in the house, walking around, and Doc suddenly hears something. He's like, do that again. And she's walking and like stomping her feet. So we find out that Doc is beneath the floorboards and dirt is what's falling on him and he's being buried alive. So I'm thinking, why aren't you just going underneath to get him out of, because it's like a crawl space, right?
You would think. It sure seemed that way.
But she goes to the barn to get a crowbar instead. And guess what? We find where Bobo was. So that's where Bobo is before he is being released by Waverly and crew.
Right.
So they're fighting. How long have they done this? How often has this happened? Because she shoots him with Peacemaker, and apparently, because we get to see a moment, it like rewinds, and it's constantly happening where she's fighting with Bobo. Even if she doesn't take Peacemaker, they end up fighting and killing each other. And it's just happening over and over. And Doc is like, please, Wynonna, please. And you see like the dirt covering him. It's like, holy crap.
Right. You just
This is getting painful.
Get a little bit of his nose and his eyes are about the only thing that hasn't been covered up. And you kind of go, oh, this might not end well.
No. And then when he's like, if I can ask you to do it one more time, I'll understand if you don't think I'm worthy. And at this point, I'm like, but Doc, you are worthy. And of course, Wynonna's pretty much the same way as me, because she's like, it'd be so much easier if you weren't. I was like, oh God, Emily, why? You're just twisting that knife in us this season. I can't. You're killing me. But she goes out one more time and she's like, all right, I gotta find a way to talk to Bobo and not kill him. Otherwise, this all starts again.
Yeah.
And Bobo's not there. And I love it because she's like, what's going on?
Yeah. How did this happen? Think about it. Your sister probably did something.
I know. It's like she's not thinking about anybody except what's happening right now because it's happening over and over and over.
Right. And Bulshar shows up and just
makes it more confusing.
On worse.
Oh my gosh. The whole thing with Bulshar, I was so ticked. And yeah, there's just a door right there, which of course I felt very Channel Zero there.
Yes, another one.
I'm like, I wouldn't go in that door. You don't know where it's going.
That's right.
Yeah, and Wynonna shoots him and nothing happens. And of course he's like, ha ha ha. That only works on what I created, not on me. And I'm thinking, all right, Wynonna, you know you're in this weird thing where everything's going to just keep repeating.
Right.
So you can't kill him in this dream realm. That doesn't mean you can't kill him.
Right.
But of course, it makes it real difficult as he's gloating and just constantly, he's like, well, if you just give me the gun, everything will be okay. Yeah. And everyone will live. It's like, they're not going to live happily ever after. You're killing everybody.
Exactly. They're going to be slaves.
Right.
They'll live, but they'll be slaves.
Right. And he's like, oh, just don't worry. I'll make it okay. It's like, oh, God, no. But I think it was worse because right before this, we find out that Bulshar had tried to recruit Doc.
Right.
And did he officially say he resisted?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was like, I still was kind of up in the air if he officially had said no.
We never saw any of that conversation after Bulshar offered it to him.
And yeah, I feel like when he told Wynonna, he didn't say that he resisted.
Right.
He just told her what the offer was. And I'm like, oh, okay, I still don't know. But it gets worse outside because she goes inside. She does get Doc out from the floorboards. They're relieved. They go outside and Bulshar's not there. Okay, this is too easy, obviously, because suddenly Bulshar is there and he's like,
oh, you won.
Yeah.
Right.
What? No, you're lying.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Doc just kind of seemed like this can't be real. And thankfully, he was thinking the same way because, I don't know, I felt like Wynonna really believed that they won. Like, all they had to do was be together and they won.
Right.
And that's because we don't know how long she's done this over and over and over.
Yeah.
And the next thing we know, they're back in the bar. And it's like, wait a second. What? No, we didn't win because we hear Nicole and you open the door and we're back in Shorty's bar.
Right.
So at this point, you just know, like, the fans know, obviously she didn't win. We don't know how long this is supposed to have been happening. Could have been, for all we know, like 100 years this has been going on. But it was the whole carrot and stick.
Right.
I'll let you believe it so I can take this away.
And break you.
Yes. And this whole time that we have Waverly and gang outside trying to find them, Waverly believing with every ounce of her being that Wynonna will not break. And you have this happening.
Right.
And finally, this last one, we're assuming it's the last one, when she's crying and she goes up the stairs, opens the door, and she's coming out of the homestead.
Right.
Which, okay, that was weird. And she knows something changed. And there's Bulshar. And Bulshar's like, you can't kill me and I can keep this going forever. And as she's like ready to be Wynonna and give some snarky remark, she turns and she sees the two graves.
Right.
And I think that was finally the last thing she could handle.
Right.
Because she's going to keep fighting. But no matter what, when Waverly has something happen to her, that's what's going to break her. And I think she knows that even above Doc.
Right. Absolutely.
And she looks at Bulshar and he's like, you made me dig these graves, didn't you? And he laughs, which is just perfect psychotic behavior.
Right. And makes it even that more crushing on Wynonna.
And I think she would have still been able to handle it because she goes, it doesn't matter because if I'm in here fighting you, you're not getting what you want. And she's okay. And I think she's going to handle it until.
Right.
This is what got me, because outside we have Jeremy and Waverly and Nicole running past. They see the stairs. And he's like, you guys see this, right? We find out these have got to be the stairs to the garden.
Right.
And Nicole almost starts climbing up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God, what's going to happen? But the gang finds Doc and Wynonna. They pull Doc out, and Waverly's screaming Wynonna's name as she's trying to pull her out. And I don't know if you caught it right away, but the oven mitt's off her hand.
Right.
And so, like, she's reaching for Wynonna, and right there, I thought that was going to wake her up and everything was going to be cool.
Right.
But the screaming of Wynonna's name is what Wynonna is hearing.
Used against her.
Yes. And that, I think, is ultimately, more than any of it, what finally broke her.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because
they're trying to save her, she breaks. And you go, no!
Right. And what's worse is we don't see it.
Right.
Because I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Because you hear the screams and she's crying. And I'm like, come on, Wynonna, you got this. You can handle this. But the way the screams changed too.
Right.
Bulshar changed that just now, very much like Hunger Games when they had the Mockingjays.
Right.
In the last one, second to last one, where you hear them screaming their name and it's like, oh my God, how long can you handle that before you completely lose it?
Right. It's not, I'm coming to save you tone. It's, I'm dying and why did you let this happen to me?
Yes.
You just go, oh man, no.
Yeah. And then Doc wakes up first, and I was hoping that he was going to wake up and kind of like grab and like shake Wynonna or something and yell her name, like, don't do it.
Right.
But he wakes up and he's like, what did he scream exactly? Like, don't give up Peacemaker or something along those lines.
Right.
And next thing you know, she wakes up and looks at Waverly. Like, she wasn't startled awake. It's like she just blinked and she's awake.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker's not on her hip.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so hard watching that because like she had to look at all of their faces and be like, he promised to let you all live. But at the same time, the only people that know what has happened were Doc and Bobo, because they're the only two that have been in the same situation.
Right.
It's like, oh God. Yeah, and later when Wynonna and Waves are at the homestead and she's telling Waverly what happened, that Bulshar beat her, Waverly's like, we are the only ones that can take him down. The odds of anyone else winning are nil. We got this.
Yeah.
But by the way, the ring is stuck to my hand.
Yeah.
What? And Waverly's trying really hard to be optimistic. She's like, we'll take the fight to him. We'll wait at the stairs and block him. We'll do what we have to. And Wynonna's like, what stairs are you talking about? So this was weird because Wynonna's like, maybe only the righteous can see it. But I'm like, all right, who do we know has seen it so far? Waverly, Nicole,
Robin, and Jeremy.
Yeah, okay. Doc never seen the stairs.
No, Doc never saw the stairs.
But he was freaked out when they talked about them.
Right.
So only 4 people have seen the stairs. Bulshar wants the stairs.
Yeah.
What does this mean? And Robin is still slightly connected to Bulshar.
Yeah. Or at least in the communication pipeline.
Yes. I don't even know what this means.
No.
The fact that we're coming up on...
Yeah, to me, it really looks like it's going to come down to Waverly in the ring. Unless they can find some other way, something that we don't know about yet.
I don't know. What if Waverly's dad comes back?
Right. That would be something that surely would help.
This is so strange. And why can only some people see the stairs?
Right.
Oh my gosh. I was just thinking Wynonna didn't see him because, well, she's a little traumatized right now.
Right. It's hard not to.
Right. It's weird because we don't know if, like, Bobo has seen it because he's been out in the woods. So maybe we'll find out next episode. Maybe we won't.
Yeah.
We only got 3 episodes left. Somebody's got to tell me something.
Yeah, you better, Emily.
Oh, God. This was rough, though. This really was. Yeah. And just
I saw a tweet on her saying that you ain't seen nothing yet. Just wait till the finale. And you're going, oh, my. Are you going to do a Dark Matter season finale on us?
Do we all need to have like a box of tissue next to us so when we're sobbing? I highly recommend you get your whiskey ready, your bourbon, whatever, because I have a feeling the last 3 episodes are going to be something else.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to be insane.
Hey, Steve, did we get any feedback on this episode of Wynonna Earp?
We sure did. Once again, Fred has come through for us and provided some great feedback, so let's take a listen.
Hello, Fangirl Zone podcasters. This is Fred from the Netherlands with some feedback for Wynonna Earp, Season 3, Episode 9. First topic I want to address is something from the last podcast, and you were talking about the role of Kate and her coming back in Season 4. Listen to yourself.
Hopefully things will change in the future and we can see Kate working with the Scooby Gang. That would be totally awesome, but not thinking it's going to happen.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. But yes, I do like their interactions. And yeah, we'll see how it goes from here on.
Well, I can tell you something from Earpapalooza. I was doing a photo shoot with Emily Andres, amongst others. But one of the things I did is compliment her on the fact that she took Chantal Riley on the cast of Wynonna Earp. And when I shortly saw her later, actually in an elevator, we were talking about Chantal again. And when she walked away, she said, we will see her back. So I have some inside information that in Season 4 we will have Kate back and perhaps she will be on the Scooby Gang. First topic I want to touch upon is how is Waverly able to burn the face of that revenant called Derek? He is a jeweler, dealing with jewels and also supplying Mercedes with her jewels. But why can Waverly burn his face? Is this actually like holy water because she is an angel or half an angel? And perhaps she always had these powers, but the ring makes her able to let these powers come out. So that's my thought why she could do this. One other thing is in about 2/3 of the episode, Bobo says, oh, you found your father's ring. And then he said, oh, it found you. So would this mean that the creep of Bullshar is Waverly's father? Yucky. But some people said he is a fallen angel. So is he Julian? Well, then he should have looked different when he had this relationship with Waverly and Wynonna's mom. Greetings, all the best. Fred from the Netherlands.
That is just truly awesome that you were able to speak with Emily on a couple of occasions while you were at Earpalooza, and to find out that, yes, Kate will be back. That is awesome. Let's just hope.
Yeah, that does. Insider information.
Yeah. Let's hope she does get to come and be a little more part of the Scooby Gang than she was in this season. So, yeah, that's exciting news.
Yes. I'm excited to see how that's going to go, just because I was kind of on the fence with her anyway.
Right.
I mean, I liked how she started to come around, but I'm really hoping that it'll change and be even a better dynamic then.
Right.
If she's back.
Yep.
As for Waverly and how she was able to burn his face, I don't know, because we don't know how the ring got to Bulshar. Since we know it was her father's ring, was he a demon? Was he an angel? Was he a fallen angel? Is it a holy power? Is it some kind of curse? Is it all of the above somehow twisted?
Right.
I mean, who knows? We have so many different players in the game at this point.
Right. And can we really trust anything Bobo says?
Right.
It could be Julian's and wasn't Bulshar's to begin with, but we just don't know yet. And hopefully they will let us know in the next episode or two.
And it could be somebody else's entirely.
Yeah.
Like, how do we know that it was her father's ring originally?
Right.
It could be, for all we know, from like the Vatican, and some kind of weird trickle down thing.
Right. Yeah. And it could have been, the fathers from the way back when all this started with Earps.
Ah.
We saw them for a while. So who knows, Fred? Once again, thanks for the great feedback and the heads up on more intel on next season. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Thanks, Fred. And I'm glad you finally got your package.
Yes.
That only took forever. Sorry. And just so you know,
on your wall.
Yes, just so you know, that was signed out here in Chicago at C2E2. But they were here 2017. I've been sitting on that poster for the longest time. So congratulations. I'm glad you liked it. And it does look great where it is. Thanks, Fred. Well, what do you guys think about it? Send us an email at syfytalk@fangirlzone.com. That's SYFY at fangirlzone.com. Let us know what you think. You can also go on our webpage, www.fangirlzone.com, to go to our contacts link and hit any of the emails there, the Twitter, I think it'll take you right there, Facebook, whatever. Send us a message. Tell us what you think on all of them, because I know we are not the only ones that are like stressed out with what's happening here.
Exactly.
Oh, God. All right. And while you're at it, if you can rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform you're finding us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends. We do hope you're enjoying the podcast. And for this episode of Sci-Fi Talk, I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. Then you better turn on incognito browsing, because it is NSFW in here.
And until next time.